Your culture is a trap. Now, I'm somebody who has lived in multiple foreign cultures. I've been fascinated my whole life with foreign countries, foreign languages, foreign cuisines, and a lot of it was to get away from my culture growing up in Bakersfield, California. There was a lot to get away from. And I made the mistake early of glorifying other cultures. But what I came to realize eventually was that all cultures are they're just repeated patterns, endlessly repeating patterns of conditioning. Cultures, to a certain degree, are the enemy of spiritual awakening. Now, spiritual awakening is about realizing that you are the spirit that you are. Okay, what the hell does that mean? You are the spirit that you are. Well, the thing that makes your heart beat is not your ego. The thing that came into the fetus that became you was not something that you decided to do. You are your soul, your spirit, your higher self. And when you incarnated, you picked a gender, you picked a body type, let's say, you picked a family, you picked a culture. And all of these things are fine. All of these things are kind of the playing field. If you think of a sport, you think of a sport like football, right? There are rules. You can't go out of bounds, and you have to, you can't drop the ball, whatever, right? I don't know all the rules of football. Not a good example for me to start going on. But anyway, there are rules to the game. And you decide to play football, you also decide to adhere to those rules to a certain degree. But in terms of incarnating as a human on Earth, it's kind of like, a game of hide and seek. It's kind of like you go into this matrix in order to realize that you really aren't a part of that matrix. That is all really false conditioning. So you go into a family, maybe your family has a certain religion, your family has a certain socioeconomic status, and you start thinking that these things are you. These are definitions of you. Like, my family is rich, I am rich, I am better than people that are not rich, or I am more fortunate than people that are not rich, or whatever. And so we basically start taking on false identities. The first false identity is your body. That's really not your identity. That's your costume for the party called your life on Earth. And the next identity we could say is the family, and the next identity is the culture that you live in, which includes a language, which includes certain patterns. Now, when I was 16 years old, I went from my home of Bakersfield, California, to Sweden for 1 year and lived as a foreign exchange student with a Swedish family. Now, my family there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of really negative energy in the air because basically my mom wasn't a very nice person on many levels. She had a lot of emotional problems. She was abusive, a narcissist, many things. And the toxic energy that came off of her really, really infected the whole family, right? And so I go to this Swedish family, and I believe the first day that I was there, the daughter of the family was learning how to drive, and she was backing up a car. She was backing up like 1 mile an hour or less. I mean, really slowly. And she hit a tree. She barely hit a tree. Now, in my family, the concern would have been about the car. And why are you so stupid that you hit a tree and you ruin the car and this is going to cost a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. Well, when she hit a tree with the family car, the dad ran up and asked if she was okay. And I was blown away by that. It seems really silly now because that's probably what I would have done with my daughters, but she was backing up so slowly, there was no chance of any physical harm to her. But the dad showed no concern for the car. It blew my mind. And literally, just because of that, in that moment, I decided I'm going to move to Sweden. Okay, I'd only been there a day, maybe two. I think it was the first day that I was there. I decided I was going to move to another country, emigrate, live there forever. And I loved being in Sweden. I used to have nightmares the whole year I was a foreign exchange student about going home for a visit and then my mom saying, you can't go back. And then I would wake up and I would be in Sweden. I'd be like, oh my God, yeah. I went back after a year in Sweden and I talked 4 of my friends into coming to Sweden, moving to Sweden with me. And they did it. And it was insane. But towards the end of my foreign exchange year, where I was glorifying in the fact that Swedes don't get mad at you, right? No, what I learned was that Swedes collect their anger until it reaches a certain point. They don't show you any of it until it reaches a certain point. You know, they've kept it inside. They've kept it under lock and key. It's been fermenting within them. And one day, I woke up late for school. And I had lived with this family for about 9 or 10 months. I wake up late for school one day, and my host mom starts berating me for like 2 hours about everything I had done wrong the whole time since I got there. And I was shocked. I thought we were good. I thought it was all cool. She was berating me for not waking up to go mushroom picking in the forest, which would have required waking up at around 4 a.m. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, right? And I really wish I would have now. I could have learned something from these people. It's a shame. But the thing is, that was the beginning of me understanding that one culture isn't necessarily better than another. It's just a different expression of similar bullshit, right? Now, cultures are great. I love different cultures to this day, okay? I love just soaking in the vibe of a different culture. But the thing is, they're all systems created by egos. And they are all systems of stuckness. There are great things to get from cultures. There's music, there's food, there's literature, there's all kinds of stuff. There's wisdom in, how they deal with nature and how buildings are constructed. There's all this cool stuff about culture. But there's a lot of patterning that is pretty random. And it's just another layer of stuff, of conditioning that we need to break out of if we're going to awaken. So enjoy your culture, enjoy other cultures. Every culture has something to offer. But realize that it's important to unhook from your culture. And it's not necessarily an improvement to just hook into another culture. The idea is that we become fluid. The idea is that, when we go to Japan, we take our shoes off when we enter a house. And that we eat with chopsticks and that whatever. And it's fine, okay? It's nothing to rebel against. It's fun to be able to master certain intricacies of culture. But realize none of it's real. None of it really matters. One thing that really unhooked me from the Swedish culture, and förlåt mig Susanne om jag säger någonting som du inte tycker om. Sorry, just had to give a message in Swedish. But so I was living with my Swedish girlfriend. I was around 19, 20 years old. I had gone back to Sweden as an immigrant, as I said I would. And in Sweden, they have a tradition on Thursday night that they eat pancakes and pea soup. Now, the pancakes aren't like American pancakes. They're more like French crepes, right? And so basically, a huge percentage of the Swedish population eats yellow split pea soup and crepes on Thursday night. And every Swede you ask, why do you do that, whatever, they say, it's to save money, okay? So, fine, I got into it, absolutely. And I got to enjoy my pancakes and pea soup dinners. And then one day, I said to my Swedish girlfriend, I feel like pancakes and pea soup today. But it wasn't a Thursday. It was a non-Thursday. And my girlfriend went ballistic. You can't do that. It's not Thursday. You can't just eat pancakes and pea soup on a Tuesday. And I was like, hey, I won't tell if you don't, right? We have the materials. We have the ingredients. We'll just make it. I won't tell. And she was just like, no, you can't do that. You don't understand. You Americans have no culture. You don't understand anything. And, and she really had a fit about that. And it made me realize, okay, this isn't my shit here. This isn't it. I can't deal. And that helped me unhook from Swedish culture and move on from there. So it's all kind of random, and, I get it. If somebody just said, hey, I'm going to celebrate Christmas on, June 1st, everybody be like, you can't celebrate Christmas then. But then again, why not? Who cares? So anyway, culture is just another form of conditioning that we need to release. That's about all I got to say about that for now. Thanks for watching.